welcome back to Not Another Pop Culture Pod, and welcome to our bumper bonus 10th episode.
Who can believe that we're at the 10th episode? It's gone by so fast. I don't know how we're here.
10 weeks.
How have we done it? That's like almost 3, I nearly said 4 months. Wow. Maths was not my strong point.
Soon.
But yeah, we're here. And as promised, we're here to answer dilemmas.
Yeah.
Random questions, like everything that you've sent in. The way we're going to do it is we've got a bowl full of like notes that we've kind of written down, and we've folded them all over so we don't know what we're going to be answering before like one of us reads it out. So yeah, it's all going to be kind of exciting and new because we've not pre-prepared answers. No. So if we're chatting shit, then it's not our fault. But yeah, welcome, and we hope you like this episode, and if you do, we'll do more, and if you don't, we'll pretend it never happened.
Exactly.
So Sean, do you want to take the first pick?
Okay.
Oh,
I hope people like paper ASMR.
Oh, do it. Ooh.
Someone's probably like turned that episode off right now. Right. I recently moved house and my new neighbours really pissed me off. They're loud, ignorant, go out of their way to be nasty. Oh, and go out of their way to be nasty, sorry.
God, get it right. She's messing it up already.
What do I do? And that is from Aisha.
Like, for me personally, being the Sagittarius that I am, I think if somebody was really going out of their way to be horrible to me, I'd probably just be like, have you got a problem? Like, you know, I don't understand why you'd be horrible to somebody for no reason.
I feel like I'd be really bad in that situation because I probably just like, unless it got like ridiculous, I probably just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just me, but that's not my advice.
If they were a bit hostile, it's different, isn't it? But if she feels like they're going out of their way to be rude, then it's kind of different, isn't it? But I guess it depends on, you know, how deep they're being to her.
Yeah.
If they're, you know, stopping her, I mean, I don't know. Did she say she lives in a house?
Yeah, so she moved house.
Oh. I don't know then.
I mean, if they're being loud, I guess you could ask them to
be
stop.
quiet. That's quite awkward though. It depends what they're doing to be loud, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if they were playing music or like, I don't know, screaming and shouting, maybe just put a note through the door or something and just say, please keep it down.
Or I'll file a noise complaint to the council. No, wouldn't recommend that probably. Try and speak to them about it.
Yeah, I think it's always best to try and like not go in all guns blazing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you're nice, I think most of the time you'll find people will be nice back.
Yeah.
So if you kind of go to them and you're like, oh, please, you know, can you stop being noisy on a Wednesday night at 11 p.m, for example, because I'm trying to sleep because I've got an early start on, you know, for work on Thursday, then I'm sure they'll be like, okay, but you've got to allow a bit of noise at the weekend, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm sat here thinking about like mine and Joe's neighbours, and we're just like shouting at each other, you know, like pissing about all day long. They must be like, shut the fuck up. But you know, they've never come round with a note, so
I always get worried, like when I'm working from home, I'll like put music on, and I always worry that like the neighbours can hear it.
Yeah.
But no one's ever said anything. But
no, it's like when I lived in a student house, I always used to like play music whilst I studied and stuff, and I used to be like, what if I'm really annoying everybody in the house? But then I was like, to be fair, if you don't say anything, how are people supposed to know?
Yeah.
You know, if you're really annoyed by something, if it's that annoying to you, you have to say something.
You do, because people can't read your mind.
No, exactly.
Like they might not realise that they're being like too loud.
Yeah. Like
maybe their last neighbours like never said anything.
Exactly. You've got to have a certain tolerance level though, haven't you? Like, you know, if you hear the odd like laugh, or, you know, everyone's different though, aren't they? Like, I might be really annoyed by somebody playing music, but then like you might not, for example.
Yeah.
Or people shouting I might find funny, but you might be like, please, like, stop.
Yeah.
So it just depends. But our final conclusion, I think, is just talk. It's you know, it's the hardest thing for us to do in Britain, isn't it? Just like talk to each other about things. But if you do, it opens up a dialogue. And if they're still being really snotty with you, then you can take it further from there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, yeah.
Ooh, problem number 1.
Profesh. Right, we're going in for number 2. A number 2. Right. Here's some ASMR. Right, okay. Ooh, so my partner has recently started to give me the ick. It's not her fault at all, but I just find myself annoyed with normal things she does. Is there any going back now? And that's from Holly, but we've changed her name.
Oh.
Let me just seductively place this on the table. Wait.
There we go. Oh, I'm the kind of person, if I've got the ick, I've got the ick.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's no going back?
I don't think so. I'd have to be like madly in love with them. Like they'd have to be like my husband or wife.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It depends. Oh. I think the ick's such a hard one, isn't it? Because it's just... you can't explain it. It's really hard.
I think
it's just a feeling.
I think when you get the ick, it's like an underlying issue. I think there's like problems like subconsciously, and you kind of can't like comprehend what the problem is. So you find like small little things to nitpick over.
Yeah, like suddenly, you know, you'll have been together for like 2 years, and then suddenly them eating starts to piss you off or something like that. I think it's not one of those things that you can go to her and be like, look, you're giving me the ick, like, can you stop? Like, because they'd probably be really hurt that you felt that way. So I think you need to kind of take yourself into, you know, like somewhere where you can be like on your own, and you need to have like a genuine think about what it is that you want from this relationship, whether you fancy the person still, whether you love them, whether you can see yourself with them in like 5 years' time or whatever. And then maybe, I know it sounds really cheesy, but write a list of things that they bring to the table that you really like, and then things that they do that are giving you the ick
classic
or that piss
pros
you
and
off.
cons.
Exactly. And like, you need to sit with that list and think like, is this person the person for me? And if they're not, you need to let them down gently, quickly.
I definitely think you need to be honest. Like, you need to kind of collect your thoughts, figure out what it is that you want, and then be honest with them, because there's no point stringing them along.
You can't, exactly. You can't be leading them on, letting them think everything's okay when it's obviously not, because like you said, the ick is an underlying issue and you're looking for scapegoats to pin, you know, to pin that underlying issue on. There's something deeper. Or you could try relationship counselling or therapy, like to get to the bottom of these issues. I mean, I've never tried it personally, but I'm sure if you were ever at a position in your relationship where you were like, we need a better sex life, for example, and we don't know how to get it, or, you know, we don't communicate properly anymore because we've had children, or, you know, it could be anything, couldn't it? Literally, I think you go to like therapy for anything, don't you? So ick is a tough one though.
It is. I think when it's like early on in the relationship, it's kind of more acceptable to be like, oh, I'm breaking up with you. But I feel like if you're in a long-term, like, serious relationship,
this is the vibe I get from this.
Deeper,
like, just because they've said, is there any going back now, like, I don't feel like you'd say that if you've been in a relationship for like 6 months. Whereas if you've been in a long-term relationship, you would, you know, word it in that way, I think. So has anybody ever given you the ick that you've been with?
I get the ick like straight, like, so soon.
Do you? Yeah, I think when you're single and you're dating, it's so easy to get the ick, but I think it's such a strange feeling when you're actually with somebody in a relationship and then suddenly they start to like piss you off,
Yeah.
every little thing that they do. And it's like, how did I not see this in you before? Like, how did I not know?
Yeah, I have had that, like, probably, like, the last time was a few years ago, where I was seeing someone and I really liked them at the start, and then it was just, like, one little thing gave me the ick, and then another little thing, you know, it just
And then
kept,
you
like,
suddenly
building.
had, like, a snowball of icks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I hope it goes well. If you're meant to be with her, then I think you'll find a way. But if you do the pros and cons list and there's more cons than pros, I think you know what to do.
Yeah, definitely.
As horrible as it is and as not nice as it is. And, you know, you always have to think about the other person's feelings, no matter how... Even with friendships and stuff, even if you're ending a friendship actively, I think you need to think of their feelings and kind of be fair with them.
definitely.
But, you know, sometimes things are not meant to be forever, and that's okay.
Well said. Well said. Right, going in for number 3.
Oh. It's like unwrapping presents at Christmas or birthday.
I always struggle to pick between takeaways because I'm a greedy fuck. How do I choose what I want when I want it all? From Reese. You could do one of those wheels.
Oh my god, yeah, I was going to suggest, I bought Joe some takeaway dice for some occasion one time, and it has like, I don't think he's ever used them, but
they're probably like really generic. You could make your own wheels. So if you put like they do like them online, you can put in like your own options, like Wheel of Fortune thing.
Like, seriously, I use the Wheel of Fortune for like genuine life decisions.
Do you?
Yeah, so the last time I was getting my nails done, I used the Wheel of Fortune to decide whether I wanted just plain French tips or whether I wanted to go zebra.
Oh.
And it landed on French, but as soon as I got them done, I was like, I want zebra. But never mind, we moved.
Yeah. But you could put all your favourite takeaway names into it and just let it choose for you.
If you had to get a takeaway right now, what would it be?
I haven't had a pizza in a long time. So I'd probably get Franca Manca.
Nice.
Gluten-free.
Ooh.
Oh, but today I went for lunch with my friend Lucy. I went to this new chicken place in the Arndale. It was called Slim Chickens.
Okay.
But I got confused because when she messaged me about it, she said it was called Slim Pickings. But then I got there and I was like, oh wait, it's Slim Chickens. And then when I went back to work, my friends were like, where did you go? And I was like, Slim Pickings, Slim Chickens. I was like so confused.
So it's called Slim Chicken.
Yeah.
Was it nice?
Yeah, it was all right.
Good. Mm-hmm. Was it in the place? What's just left the Arndale? Was it Salt and Pepper or something?
No, it's not where Salt and Pepper was. Which,
is it not?
Rest in peace. That was my favourite.
Was it? I never went.
It's the best, but you can still get it in what's it called? The Black Dog Ballroom.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Oh.
They do it in the kitchen there now. No, but it's like upstairs next to the Nando's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. That used to be Five Guys, didn't it?
Yeah, the Five Guys has moved now.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, near to the McDonald's on Market Street. If you're not from Manchester, you've got no idea what we're on about.
And we're just chatting shit. Okay, interesting. Oh, speaking of McDonald's, that's what I'd get, because obviously I've given it up for Lent.
Yeah, I had McDonald's the other day, unfortunately, so I've been quite bad this week.
What did you get?
Chicken selects.
That's a strong choice, actually. It's not something that I'd normally go for, but it is a very strong choice, I approve. They are good. It's the sauce as well.
Yeah.
What is it? Sour cream and chive or something?
Oh, I got sweet and sour and sweet curry. But today, like the thing I had today was like the kind of the same. It was like a chicken tender meal, but it had like garlic cheese sauce with it.
Was it nice?
Yeah, it was good. And
did
had
you
like
forget
garlic
your lactose
bread.
intolerance?
Yeah, I did, and gluten. And I had a chocolate milkshake as well.
Oh my god!
But I only drank like half of it.
How's your stomach?
It's all right at the minute. We're good. We're
Good.
moving. I had like healthy ramen noodle soup for dinner.
Nice. Your ramen always looks so good.
Yeah.
Right.
It tastes good as well.
Stop.
If I do say so.
I'm going in for number 4.
What are we going to get?
Oh, Christ.
Just for our listeners, Danielle actually hates ASMR. So
Yeah, I do.
she's killing herself here.
How can I tell if the hot people in the gym are gay without actually talking to them? And that is from Liam.
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know how good your gaydar.
Yeah, I just feel like you're gonna have to talk to them.
I feel like you have to, because if you're just like creeping on them and like trying to watch them, then that's a bit creepy.
I think like you should just barge over to them and be like, excuse me, do you want to come to, and then insert the name of a gay club here, and then just be like, on Saturday night, and if they say yeah, then it's a green light.
The thing with the gym is, I find like, as a woman, when you go to the gym, you get guys like being a bit creepy and like watching you. And if I was at the gym and someone came over and started trying to just like chat me up out of the blue, I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, maybe just try and have like a friendly conversation
Yeah.
with them first.
I think so. And then you're going to find out naturally that way, aren't you?
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
Eventually. Like, it comes into conversation at some point, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Either you're going to find out that they have a boyfriend, or you're going to find out, you know, that maybe they're going to a club night that you want to go to as well. Like, I don't know. But I don't think you can tell. I don't think you can tell just by looking at someone, unfortunately.
No.
Like,
So yeah, my main advice is just talk to them like a normal person. Don't be a creep.
yeah.
Popping bottles over here.
Popping bottles. Like a blizzard. Yeah, just go over, talk to them. Or you could waltz over. Or, like, write on a piece of paper your number. And like, I'm not joking, like, I used to do this. This used to be my audacity level. I used to like have a pen and paper ready, like, at all times. And then if I saw someone that I thought was cute, or like temporarily vibed with, like in a bar, or, you know, like a bar like staff member or something, and like we've had a bit of a connection, I wouldn't just go handing round my number. But if I thought there was a bit of a vibe, I'd just like give them my number. And a couple of times, to be fair, it worked.
Ooh.
It takes a lot of guts, and I think a lot of people are probably listening to this like, what the fuck? I could never do that.
Never.
But yeah, I was born with audacity.
You were.
So
Sagittarius vibes.
I know.
Right, going in for number 5. I'm just going to pick the closest one. Oh.
Well,
I just couldn't read the word. I thought it said lactose. It doesn't.
you've got lactose on the brain.
Yeah. Is it a red flag that my boyfriend insists when I leave the flat that my location services are on? From Anonymous. Yes, it's a red flag.
I think so. It also really, really, really depends on your relationship with your boyfriend. If he's exhibiting other possessive and controlling behaviours, then yeah, it's weird. But if he genuinely cares about your safety, like, for example, like we have our location services on for each other.
We do, but that was like a
safety thing.
It was a, what's the word? A mutual discussion that we had.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, fair enough if you're like going on a night out or something, or
Yeah.
maybe going somewhere that you like usually wouldn't go and you feel a bit unsure.
Yeah. Yeah, I
put
think
it
if you're
on.
just like, if your friend, for example, is coming to pick you up and you're going to go for a coffee, I think it's a bit weird
Yeah.
to like insist that you have it on, because your boyfriend should trust you. And if he doesn't trust you and he thinks you're going to like meet somebody else or something, then there's some serious problems that need to be unpacked in your relationship. But yeah, if you have a mutual conversation and you're just like, oh, well, I'm going on a night out with the girls tonight, and just in case, you know, if you see my, you know, my pin go anywhere that's not central Manchester,
Keep happening.
then, you know, call me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then,
Also, does your boyfriend have his location on all the time?
yeah, because if it's a one-way street, then that's weird.
Yeah.
But if you're both doing it out of like a almost courtesy to each other, as in like, you know, I'm going to look out for you if you look out for me sort of thing, then it's different. But if this boyfriend, you've been with him for like 6 months, he's a bit weird, a bit controlling, you know, he's like, where are you?
Yeah.
You know, that does give me the ick a little bit. I mean, it does a bit anyway, because I think, I don't know. But then I'd also I'd want Joe to know if I was in trouble, if that makes sense. But I don't have my location services turned on, shared with him, purely for the fact that he doesn't have an iPhone though.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'd probably have Find My iPhone on, you know, for him if he had an iPhone. But yeah, I don't know.
I think
a strange one,
insisting is a bit much.
Yeah.
Because you're not a child at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, yeah, it does sound like a bit of a red flag to me. Without knowing the full circumstances.
Yeah. Maybe sit down with him, you know, it's all about talking, communication, isn't it? Sort of say to him, like, why do I need to have it on? You know, if he doesn't have it on, question that, you know. You know what's right and what's wrong deep down, I think. Sometimes you overlook it, but, you know, the time is not, like, don't overlook things, basically, because you'll regret it at some point or other. So.
Definitely.
Right, we're going in. I've lost track of what number we're on now.
6, I think.
Eventually we'll get there. Oh, okay, this one's deep. What should you do if you witness something racist, sexist, or homophobic in a public place? And that's from AJ.
I think it depends on the context. I think first of all you should make sure that the person's okay first. And I do think it's really important to give that person like the choice, you know, say like, do you want to report this? Because what if they don't? I think it's even though it, you know, probably needs reporting, is it your place to do so?
Yeah. I think it wholly depends on the context. Like, I think my automatic reaction when I read that was to be like, call it out, you know, say to the person, like, it's not acceptable to use that sort of language in, you know, 2022. But at the same time, if you feel like that would put you in danger of the person, if they're genuinely threatening, and if you think that you could make yourself and the person that they're targeting even more of a target by intervening, sometimes I think it's better to just, like you said, speak to the person after the incident or during and just say to them, you know, do you want to report this? Maybe if you can, try to record it on your phone so you've got like a, you know, like a physical proof of what's happened. If you don't feel comfortable videoing, voice record. Try and get a snide little picture of them, maybe, because I am literally queen of taking pictures of, you know, like beef. I think it's like when you're a journalist, it's a skill that you like learn at uni, isn't it?
I once like at work, when I worked on ships, I heard someone talk, like someone that was in a high management position, talking about someone who worked below them in like a homophobic way.
Oh my God.
So me and my friend heard it, and we like reported it to like the basically the HR on the ship, and then like nothing happened.
Yeah, well, I've got a really similar story, and it just shows that stuff like this is just still accepted, almost like a part of society. So I'm not going to say where I was working at the time, but it was when I worked in retail, and a homophobic incident happened in front of a manager, and they did nothing at all. And I even wrote a statement of what had happened, and nothing was done about it. I was genuinely horrified. And so many sexist incidents happened too, and just nothing. I can't say I've ever witnessed anything racist, thank God. But I think if I did, I would genuinely struggle to just sit there and say nothing. But like I said before, I should probably heed my own advice and think like, am I going to endanger the other person more by, you know, coming in, you know, with my attitude, like,
Yeah.
oh, who do you think you are, kind of thing. It really, really does depend on the situation. If it's a raging, rambling old man who's saying, like, his awful, you know, old-fashioned views, then maybe you could stick up for them. But if the person genuinely looks like a danger, probably just see if the person's okay and go through with it that way, because you have to pick your battles, don't you?
Yeah, you do, definitely.
But yeah, hopefully nothing like that happens.
Fingers crossed. Oh, this one's cute. How did you decide what career you wanted? I'm 18 and feeling really lost and demotivated at uni. Molly.
I don't know.
You're 18, you're so young.
Innit? Like,
You're a baby. I didn't decide what career to go into until I was like last year. 28.
I know, it is a really hard one, and I think for young people these days, I think they see like reams and reams of successful people, especially like social media influencers and stuff like that, and they really put so much pressure on themselves to want to know what career that they desire from such a young age, and that's just not how life works.
No.
Unfortunately, like, sometimes you stumble into things that you never meant to stumble into. Sometimes you work your arse off to get into a position that you want to be in, and then that doesn't work out, but something else comes along. Like, it really, really depends on the situation. Like, I graduated when I was 22 from my undergraduate degree in philosophy, and I had no idea what I wanted to do.
I was the same. I graduated with a politics degree.
Yeah, so I'd known from such a young age that I wanted to go into journalism, but for me it was never something that was accessible, because all I'd ever really seen was predominantly men in journalism, you know, in top roles.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's not really going to be something, you know, that's for me. But then I was just like, do you know what? I don't want to go into marketing, which is the only thing I could have probably done with a philosophy degree. Went and did our masters, and, you know, like, thankfully something came along eventually, but it's not easy.
No.
Like, it's really hard, and it's really demotivating. Like, I feel that demotivation that you're feeling, because when you're 18 as well and you're at uni,
so you're probably only in first year, I'm guessing.
yeah, it's a whole new world. Like, you're away from your parents, I assume, if you're living away, like, away from the friends that you've been with for how many years, trying to make new friends whilst also staying afloat in a new, like, area of study is tough. Like, you don't need to think about your career yet.
No,
just
honestly,
enjoy it.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about career yet, because, you know, something will come along. Like, you'll figure it out along the way.
Exactly. Just kind of try and keep in the back of your mind, like, things that interest you, because if you can turn something that interests you into a career, then that's going to make your working life a whole lot easier. You know, the whole, you know, if you work a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. Well, you do, because it's still work. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, there's always going to be something you prefer doing to work. Let's be real. You know, you can love your career. You can, you know, want to give it all the time of day, you know, all the headspace that you've got, but it's still a job.
Yeah.
You know, going out with your friends, family, etc. is always going to be more fun. You know, holidays exist. Like, of course there's, you know, more fun stuff, but just kind of think, if you're doing English Lit, for example, you could follow, like, publishing houses on Twitter, for example. It doesn't mean that you have to apply or be doing work experience right now. Just kind of have a rough idea. And when you do decide, either when you graduate or before you graduate, what it is that you want to do, I think work experience is really, really helpful, because it sets you apart from the competition, I think.
And it doesn't even have to be in, you know, the field that you eventually go into. Like, I never really thought about going into digital marketing and, like, content creation, because it wasn't even a thing when I was 18.
Yeah.
Like, content was, you know, no one used that word, content, at the time. And obviously I did my politics degree. Then I wanted to go travelling, so I made that into my career for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then came back and did the journalism masters. Like, I thought I wanted to go into journalism, But really, I just enjoyed like the multimedia aspect of it, and then I've like found myself in digital marketing.
Yeah, it just shows that progress doesn't have to be linear.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to uni and then get the job of your dreams. You can go to uni, do other things in the meantime, do a master's when you're that little bit older.
You don't even have to go to uni.
No, exactly. There's no timeline to anything. If you go to uni and you realise that it doesn't work for you, it's not serving you in the way that you want it to, that's fine. You can get a job. There are apprenticeships, that you can do. I think this government's put far too much pressure on everybody to go to uni, and it's just not for some people. Like, some people just don't vibe with that uni life because they don't enjoy academia.
Yeah.
That's fine. There should be more options available for people to explore other things. But yeah, you're young. 18 is so young. I hadn't even given my career a second thought at 18. I was just going out with my friends like literally 3, 4, 5 times a week.
An archaeologist when I was like 13. By the time I was like 16, I wanted to be an architect.
Okay.
But I was really bad at, like design.
Yeah.
So that was never going to happen. And then I'd never even studied politics before uni.
Really?
Yeah. So I initially was doing like a dual honours degree, politics and economics, and I'd done economics at A-level.
Yeah.
But politics was just something that kind of like interested me.
Yeah.
And I thought it would just look good on a degree. So.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a vet until I realised you had to put animals down, and that was when I was about 7, so I decided I didn't want to do that. And then when I was in college, I wanted to be an MP.
Oh, you could have done the politics degree.
Yeah, I could have done a politics degree. I'm glad I didn't, because the state of politics at the minute is really, really like...
I mean, I really enjoyed my degree, like...
Yeah.
Without ever thinking, I never wanted to go into a career in politics. I always thought maybe I'd go into like a journalism career focused in politics.
Okay, yeah, that would be cool actually.
It would, but do you know what? It would have been, but I just don't think I would want to now, like...
No, it's not for
the
you.
state of it.
I know, literally.
Do you know what I think would be really cool? I'd want to go like to America, to Washington. And,
really?
Yeah. There's so much like drama over there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
More scandalous.
Yeah, it definitely is a lot more. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Partygate. Still going on,
true.
still popping off. We're still hearing stories of MPs who were misbehaving, taking karaoke machines to parties.
Oh my goodness.
After writing legislation saying that you can't say goodbye to your fucking dying family member.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah. Let's not go too deep into that, because we could be here for hours and hours and hours.
We could. We move on.
Is it my go?
I think it's your go.
I'm going for this bad boy here. Ooh, okay. Okay, so this one's from somebody anonymous, for obvious reasons when you hear it. My boyfriend kissed somebody else at a party. Do I let it go, or if I take him back, does that mean that his behaviour will get worse in the future?
It's so hard to...
I love how we both like inhaled.
I think like from the outside looking in, it's easy to just say like just dump him.
Yeah.
But I think it depends like what kind of history you have and
how long you've been together and all that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because if you've been together 6 months and he can't stop himself from kissing somebody else, even if he was drunk at a party, then yeah, I genuinely think you need to dump him, because
Yeah.
that's just bizarre. You should be in like the happy period of your relationship then, shouldn't you? But if you've been together like 10 years and, you know, your relationship changes and you grow as people, and I think sometimes maybe you might be in that situation and something might have happened, you know, that's like kind of made you upset or sad or angry, and you've been at that party and you've made the choice to do it, but you didn't mean anything by it. You're not having, you know, like a lifetime affair or something, and then, you know, someone finds out when you're both like 50 or something like that. Like, it's not like that. But I don't think necessarily his behaviour will get worse if you take him back, but I do kind of think once that betrayal's there, could you look him in the eye and trust him again?
Yeah, I think
that would be my thing.
Because then it'll start eating at, like,
your away at you.
Yeah.
And then you'll find yourself going about your daily business and, you know, having a conversation, and then something will remind you of what he's done, and then you'll be really pissed off, and then you'll be mad at him, and he'll be like, what have I done? And you're like, well, you kissed this girl at this party. And he'll be like, I thought we spoke about that.
I thought we were over that.
I thought, you know, we'd sort of moved on from that, and you can't move on because it's really upset you. So you're either gonna have to accept what's happened and genuinely get over it and be like, let's bury that, put it in the past. Or B, your other option is hold it against him and break up because of it. But again, it depends at what stage of your relationship you're at. Because if he's your boyfriend that you happen to have a mortgage with, it's a bit more complicated. But if he's just a boyfriend, you know, that you're both living separately, it's kind of easier.
Yeah.
It's a cleaner breakup, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think as time goes on, you would accept more of that behaviour. I know that sounds awful, but if you're 19, for example, and you've just got with somebody and he goes and kisses somebody else, it's a clear breakup.
Yeah.
But if you've been together 9, 10, 15, 20 years and you're in that situation, it gets a bit more complicated because you've got so much more history, so many more ties that you might want to, you know, kind of like keep a hold of. I mean, I personally would find it incredibly difficult to look somebody in the eye if they've gone out of their way to cheat on me, and I don't think alcohol's an excuse. I've never been inebriated enough to, like, go and kiss somebody else. No. And I know kissing's not the end of the world, and people will be like, it's only a kiss, whatever. But, you know, a kiss is a kiss at the end of the day. It's a moment of, like, passion, affection, whatever, shown to somebody else that's not your partner, and I don't think it's appropriate. At the end of the day, it's up to you.
Yeah. It's happened to me once before. Someone that I was with kissed someone else at a party. Aww. And then I forgave them, took them back, and then exactly what you said happened. Like, I just couldn't trust them anymore after that.
You couldn't, like, see past it.
And then we started getting into, like, little arguments and stuff. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that the guy? Have I made this up? Was it the guy that you had a dream that he cheated on you?
Yes. Oh my god. Like, on the night, so I was on holiday.
Yeah.
And I knew he was going to a party, and I had a dream that he cheated on me at this party. And then I get home from holiday and find out that he actually did.
You mustn't have trusted him, and to have that sort of a dream, there must have been like a little like thing in the back of your head, like, this guy's not it.
I actually just think I'm a psychic, Danny.
Mystic Meg. Yeah. All right, well, episode 20 will be Sian predicting everybody's futures through the medium of dream. Yeah. It is up to you though at the end of the day, like, only you can make that decision for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's going to have their 2 cents. Everyone's going to give you different advice, probably similar to what we've given. But yeah, it's horrible. You should not have been put in that situation. But, you know, you just got to move.
All right, this one's from Jimmy. One of my best mates cheated on their significant other. I've only met them a handful of times. Is it my place to say something? Ugh.
I love how we've had back-to-back cheating ones. Oh my god.
I think you need to tell your best mate to tell their partner, or like give them an ultimatum, because I feel like if you just went and did it behind your mate's back, like,
they're gonna fall out with you.
Yeah. And obviously your best mate did the wrong thing, but it depends. Do you really want to ruin that relationship if it's like a long, you know, like they barely know the partner from that message if they've only met them a handful of times?
Yeah. I also think, like, if you again, my instant reaction is tell the partner, like, even though it could potentially ruin the relationship. Like, I do think honesty and integrity are like two of the most important things like in life.
Yeah.
Not just relationships, like in life in general. However, if you do go and do that, you run the risk of losing your friend, but you also run the risk of the partner being like, fuck off, because they might not believe you.
That's true.
They could turn around to you and be like, you're just trying to split us up. You're being manipulative for no reason. You don't like me, so you're trying, it could be anything. So like you said, get your friend to talk to their partner and set the record straight.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, that's really unfair.
And I think you should call your friend out on that behaviour and just say, like, that's not acceptable. Because, maybe if no one told them it was wrong, they'd do it again. But if their best friend's telling them, like, that's not right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. There's no situation.
Yeah.
Again, like we said in the past one, it's just not acceptable behaviour. It is circumstantial again, isn't it? But I don't know. There's just something so horrible about one person in the relationship thinking everything's okay whilst the other one's harbouring this like huge secret.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't sit right with me.
Definitely not.
But again, you don't want to split up.
The theme of this episode is cheating is bad.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, because it's just mean. If you don't like your partner enough to not cheat on them, don't be with them. Yeah. Simple as, but that's just in my ideal world. Okay. Oh, interesting. So this one's an on. My friend keeps making snidey little comments about my weight. It's really getting me down. What shall I do? Tell him to fuck off. Like,
honestly,
genuinely.
It's the worst thing, because like when you have someone in your life that does that and they just keep doing it, they might not realize that they might think that they're trying to come from
a place of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I have definitely been in this situation before where I had a friend when I was about 16, 17, and like she would always make mean comments about my arms, and she'd be like, oh, they're so chubby, oh, they're so cute, and I'd be like, fuck off. But at the time I just kind of laughed it off, like you do. And I remember like when I cut her out of my life, it felt so freeing and so like liberating to not have to deal with her like backhandedness anymore. Like, yeah. I don't know, it's tiring being in that sort of a situation. I don't think there's ever an appropriate time to comment on someone's weight. Sometimes people say like, oh well, if it's in a place of, like actual health or whatever, you should be able to say like, oh, I think, you've put on a bit too much weight or whatever. But, I don't know how to word it. If a person is like bigger, I don't think anybody is in denial that they're bigger, if that makes sense. Like if you're living in a bigger body, you don't think that you're smaller than you are, if that makes sense. So for you to actively go out of your way to point that out to somebody is just malicious. I don't personally think you can do it in a place of love. Like if you're saying that someone's, fat, chubby, obese, whatever the word is that you're using to, to jibe at your friend, just leave it out. Like, it's just exhausting. And I think we're in 2022. Comments about weight, whether you're slim, overweight, whatever, just need to go, because we're all people at the end of the day. Some slim people eat fuck tons and never gain weight.
True.
Some bigger people eat normal healthy diets and still inhabit larger bodies. There's no key to being a certain way, if that makes sense. And what works for some people doesn't work for others. And I just think, every single industry that's targeted at women is sort of set up in such a way that it makes you feel bad about yourself. So you've got the diet culture industry that are always trying to sell you like weight loss shakes or weight loss pills. You've got the clothing industry that are literally taking off inches from waist sizes to try and make you feel like you're fatter than you are. Like you trying on those jeans the other day.
Oh, that was so annoying.
Exactly. They didn't fit because A, they can't be asked to regulate their sizes.
Yeah.
B, they're made so cheaply that they probably haven't been checked properly. You know, like quality control checked properly. And I genuinely wholeheartedly believe that sometimes they make stuff wrong and label it with the wrong sizes to make people feel shit about themselves. Like there was this whole thing, I'm not going to name and shame the brand, but there's an indie brand, and basically she has a fit model for sizes, I think it was 8 and 14, and she goes up to like any size, but she doesn't have fit models for each size. So basically she just goes up in like 2 inches for each size. But like obviously bodies don't work like that. You need fit models to check that everything's sort of going correctly. And that just baffles me. Why would you actively put people off wanting to shop with you? I adore the stuff that she makes, absolutely adore it, but there's not a chance that I would go and, you know, send her my measurements for her to actively not hire fit models for people of my size. Like it doesn't make any sense, but you know, it is what it is. Like
I think as well, for the person that's like receiving the comments, you need to say something, you know, you need to just say, look, please don't comment on my weight. It's not your business. Or
it's so hard though when you're in that situation, isn't it? It's hard to stick up for yourself.
But I think you need to, like, you've either got to learn to ignore them or deal with the situation, because if you just let it carry on, then it's just going to affect you more and more.
Exactly. And it's going to get worse. And nip it in the bud. But it's really tough, even when you are, like, I would consider myself quite outspoken, and when I was in that situation, I was just a bit like, if someone did it to me now, I genuinely think I'd like drop kick them. But you know, it's none of your business. And I often think people pick on other people out of insecurity for themselves. So whether that be probably, I assume not weight insecurity, because if they're actively picking on you because you're bigger than them or whatever, it's probably because they feel like superior to you because they're thinner, but then maybe they feel insecure about something else about themselves, probably the fact that they have a shit personality and they have to be horrible to other people. But yeah, just tell them to do one.
0121.
Literally.
Right. Next one. Oh, we've not got a name on this one.
Because it's Sean.
This one's not from me.
I'm scared now.
When I'm on dating apps, people always assume I'm provocative because I have big boobs.
Sean, it's you!
Where is this from? Excuse me? Which I'm not afraid to flaunt. Should I cover up to be taken more seriously or not? No.
I'd get them out fully. Just whack them out. OnlyFans things. No, I think if people can't take you seriously just because you've got boobs, everybody has some level of boob, even men. Like, let's get over it. Men have nips too. So, you know, I think the sexualization of the breast has gone way too far. It's just insane. And if somebody can't take you seriously because you have big boobs,
then you don't want to be with them.
They're
anyway.
a problem. They're a massive societal problem. Like, it's like, imagine going to a job interview and covering your boobs up but not getting the job because you had big boobs because they thought you were not as professional. When you put it into a situation like that, it just seems obscene, but then that's just as bad. You should be able to, have bikini pics as much as other people. Just, like, it's literally 2 balls of fat on your chest. Like, let's go. Right? And they're meant for feeding babies, not for the consumption of potential partners. So,
Yeah, true. So, don't cover them up if you don't want to. That's what I say. Do what you love.
Exactly. If you feel comfortable with them out,
Get
Keep them out.
Yeah.
Right.
Short and sweet, that one.
Okay. I met a really cute guy on the train, but I found
I know who this is from.
but I found out he's 6 years younger than me. Brackets, I'm 25. Should I have just given him my number, or did I do the right thing? That's from Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah. And I know that your answer to that was you're 25, not 55. But I don't know. I feel like that's a bit cradle snatchery. Like, if it was if it was a 19-year-old girl and a 25-year-old guy, I'd think that was a bit weird.
I think, like, on further reflection, maybe if he was 20, it might have been less weird.
Yeah.
But because he's 19, it is a bit like...
But I mean...
It depends on the person, doesn't it? I mean, if you felt like a spark, like a major spark, then why not pursue it? But then at the same time...
And because, I know that this person, we had a conversation about this. And they said that this person was, like, quite mature. Seemed quite mature for their age.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think...
That is definitely something a man would say, though, isn't it? About, like, a 19-year-old. Oh, she's really mature for her age. Like, does that even, like, matter if they're mature?
I don't know. Like, personally, I wouldn't
either. I think, like, I don't think I could date anybody younger than me. Well, I say that, Joe's 3 days younger than me. But
I could go maybe, like, a year
yeah,
younger.
I always preferred to, like, when I was 20, 21, preferred to date older guys just because I found them more attractive. But now I am 26, I don't find older guys that attractive anymore. I think men don't age that well.
No, they don't.
I don't.
Sorry to say. Except for Andrew Garfield.
Like, there's just something about them, isn't there? Like, women seem to get better with age.
Yeah.
Men don't. Most men.
Yeah.
Some men age like fine wine.
Very true.
Or whiskey.
Very true.
And some just do. so yeah. I think only you know in the moment.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't give him your number or your details or whatever, then you're just gonna have to let it go, unless you're gonna post about him in the metro.
On a train, you're never gonna see him again.
Yeah. But yeah, just gonna, it's a bit like James Blunt's song.
Which one?
How does it go? I'm going to have to say the lyrics. I saw your face
in a crowded place and I don't know what to do because I'll never be with you. So sad. When I was like, which one? As if James Blunt has more than one song.
Actually, he does.
Oh, right. This is a long one. It's not actually. I don't know.
I'm reading that backwards and it looks like it says I'm an 86-year-old.
I'm a 28-year-old living near a big city and I don't really have many friends. I try really hard, but I think it's really tough to make friends as an adult. Do you have any ideas for what I could do to meet like-minded girls near me? And that's from Anonymous. Right, well, if you're in Manchester, go on Facebook and find the Facebook group Manchester Girl.
Is there an actual Facebook group?
Yeah, it's so good. Like, when I was like looking for a flatmate before Lils moved in a while ago, like I went on there to, like search for a flatmate.
Yeah.
But it's basically just like women and like non-binary people from Manchester, and I see so many posts on there like, hey, I'm new to the city, this is my age, this is like what I'm into, this is what I do for a job, would anyone like to meet for a coffee or like go for like a girls' night and have some drinks? And I see so many people like chatting on there.
Really?
And meeting up. So yeah, and I feel like they said they live near a big city, so if it's not Manchester,
there'll be something similar.
There'll be something similar. Yeah.
I never knew that. That's really cool. Yeah. I think it is really tough to like meet friends when you're older, unless you do something like we did, like a master's. It is tough. I think a lot of people don't want to put themselves out there, do they?
No.
I know that, like, I don't know how successful it is. Do you have Bumble?
I didn't like Bumble for dating, so
They have the
They have a
friends
Bumble
option,
Friends,
don't
don't
they?
they?
But
Yeah.
I don't know whether that would be a bit weird. Like,
sometimes I see people on Tinder being like, just looking for friends.
what?
And I'm like, well, you're in the wrong...
Do you think that's like
area.
people that have girlfriends potentially just trying to like have a cheap flirt with people or something?
Maybe.
But you could always try that. Like, I've never tried it personally, but I know that it's a thing. What else? Like, if you have a specific hobby,
Yeah,
maybe
find,
join a
like,
group or something.
yeah.
Like, if you love, I don't know, why can I only think of really strange niche things like knitting? But if you like knitting, you know, maybe there's groups for young people
Yeah.
that like knitting or crocheting or embroidering, whatever. You know, if you like singing, join a choir where there's going to be young people.
Yeah.
Um,
If you're into like fitness, you can go to classes.
yeah, exactly. And just all it takes is like a hi.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and once you've said hi, the conversation can just literally flow. If it's awkward, you know, they're probably not the soulmate that you're looking for kind of thing. But I do think it's so important just to say that initial hi, because if you don't, you'll never know. And it's like partners, isn't it? You're not going to click with everybody. You know, there's people that I've tried to be friends with in the past that it's just not really worked out. And, you know, it's not meant to be sometimes. Like, you're not meant to be friends with some people because your personalities just don't mesh in the same ways they might with other people. But, you know, that's okay. Like, if you're actively looking for people to be part of your life, you need to get on with them. Like, you know, that's a fundamental
definitely.
part. You can't just, you know, go around collecting people thinking like, oh, well, you know, I've got loads of friends now, because you might not get on with any of them. So, but yeah, groups, Facebook groups.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram's obviously a great community if you've got a niche on Instagram like I do. You know, there's lots of incredibly friendly people on Bookster. I'm sure there are other niches out there, you know, that people can sort of get a following of that sort of person. You know, some people are like small bloggers. They all interact with each other.
Yeah.
Like fashion blogging, makeup, hair, like whatever it is that you're into. Just make, you know, sometimes people don't have to be in person friends. Sometimes like internet friends are just as good to have because they're people to talk to. You know?
Definitely.
I definitely speak to like so many people on Bookstagram that I'll probably never meet in real life. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Like, you know, only time will tell. But if you're genuinely struggling to find people in your area, I do think like groups like you suggested, and, you know, groups of something like a hobby group is probably the best
like
way to go.
community groups and things like that.
Exactly. But, you know, it's so shit that people our age feel lonely.
I mean, I feel like I'm so lucky because I'm not from Manchester, and, you know, I had friends that were already here and I had family that were here, which was great. And then I met you through the Masters and Lily, and then I've met friends from like various jobs that I've had as well. Whereas I think if I hadn't made friends at work and on the Masters, like, I would have struggled to just go out and, you know, make friends outside of the people I already knew, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. It's like anything, isn't it? You can't just barge up to like random girls and be like, oi,
hey, let's be friends.
like a t-shirt, do you want to be mates? Like, I think, yeah, it just doesn't work like that, does it? So yeah, try some groups. And if you're just looking for like internet pals, Instagram is great.
Yeah.
Can't think of any other like social medias that are like specifically for
Me
making
neither.
friends, but I'm sure there probably is
Yeah,
some.
I'm sure there are.
But just be wary on places
There's
like that, because it could be
like,
like creepy guys.
There's like that thing called Meetup where they have like different like hobby and niche things. I went to that true crime thing that time. Do you remember? For my
ages ago
dissertation.
Yeah.
So there was like this true crime group that meet up like once a month
Yeah.
And I like went to that for my dissertation to like look at that. But that was cool. Like they met up every month, and
That is
they had
cool.
like friends through that. So
Yeah, exactly. Because just because it only happens once a month doesn't mean you can't see them in
oh,
between.
I saw like one of my best friends today, and I've not seen her for a month. Like
Yeah.
who I went for lunch with today, I was like looking at our messages, and I was like, we haven't met up for coffee for like a month. It just happens when you're an adult, doesn't it?
Exactly. Because you have so much going on. Like, seriously, so much. It's so hard to, like, coordinate anything. Okay. This is actually relatable. Well, it is and it isn't, but I'll explain in a sec. So, why do I always bump into exes when I look like shit?
Oh, God.
It's never when I'm looking fleeky, always when I'm wearing leggings with zero makeup on. Why? That's from Anonymous.
Oh, I wish we could answer that. Like, I genuinely...
Because God hates you. I feel like I always bump into like friends when I'm out and about looking like shit, but the few times that I've bumped into exes have always been when I'm having like a really high key day. So like me and Joe were in Primark, and I didn't bump into, but like saw one of my ex-boyfriends who stood at the till with his sister, and his sister was being so bait. Like she was, tapping him and stuff, like trying to make him turn around. And I think he'd obviously seen me and didn't want to turn around because he didn't want to cause like a big thing. Not that there would have been a big thing, but I don't think he particularly wanted to say hi to me. That was fine. Don't want to say hi to you either. But that day I looked fucking good. So I was buzzing. Like I'd made such an effort. Was wearing my sassy green coat, a dress, looking really extra, and so I was happy about that. But I was walking from Morrison's, this is a little bit ago, and I've not seen one of my girlfriends in so long, and I was pretty much the opposite, like very low key that day. And I was just like, when you're just thinking like, oh my fucking God, like she must think like, what's the pandemic done to her? Like, good grief. But yeah, I just feel like it's one of those things that's going to happen. And I think as a society, we've come to the conclusion that you can look like shit some days and look really nice others.
Yeah.
Like it's not that deep.
As well, if you feel like you look like shit and you bump into someone, it's going to stick more in your mind than if you didn't think that you looked like shit and you bumped into someone.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think
living in Northern Quarter.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I bump into guys that
on the
I've been
regular
on dates with all the time. Sometimes I look like shit. Sometimes I'm on a night out and I look really nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I think so anyway.
Well, if you can't hype yourself
up. And then the
up.
other day in the train station, I told you, didn't I? I bumped into this guy that wouldn't leave me alone.
Oh my God, yeah.
On text, and I don't know if he saw me, but I was stood in the train station, and I turned around, and I saw him out the corner of my eye, and then I just quietly left and
Exited.
went down to the platform.
Yeah, I can't blame you, to be honest. I do think encounters like that can be so orcs. No.
He gave me the ick.
Really? What did he do?
We went for dinner.
I know what's coming. Is this pasta rant? I got secondhand ick. That is disgusting.
He was eating spaghetti or something. And he literally, I wish we were videoing this so I could demonstrate. He took his fork, scooped in so much pasta, put his face right down to the plate and was just shoveling this pasta. Full on spaghetti. Not cutting it, rolling it, doing whatever you want to do with it. Face
shoveling
on the table, shoveling massive piles of pasta in his, oh my God.
Do you know what? This is quite, I feel like you're going to disagree. I actually feel really sorry for people like that. And it genuinely makes me want to sob for them, because how can you be so socially inept?
I know.
It's just, I saw a couple, I went out for dinner last week with my mum. And there was a couple there, and they literally spoke not a word to each other the whole time that they were there. And it just made me so sad. I was like, how are you actively choosing to spend your money and time on each other if you don't even have anything to
Maybe
say
they
to
were
each
on a
other?
first date and it was just really awkward, because that's what it was like for me.
I don't know. Like, they were quite a bit older, so I feel like maybe they might have been married but like, still.
Yeah.
It just makes me really sad when I see stuff like that. And if I saw that, what you've just described, I would feel the ick, but then I'd just feel so sorry for him, because I'd be like, who let you think that this is okay? Like,
Well, that's why I don't feel sorry for him, because, you know, he was annoying anyway.
name and shame, no joke. to help other girls across Greater Manchester.
Oh.
Was he fit?
No, not even.
Oh.
A bit of a catfish. I've shown you the pictures. You know the one.
Is he the hatfish?
No, I don't date hatfishes. I can tell.
I swear you've been out with a hatfish, or was it Lily?
Probably Lily. No, because it's really bad, but I don't date bald men because my dad's bald.
so they need to have a full head of hair.
Yeah, and I can just tell a hatfish straight off the bat.
Yeah, I think they make it pretty big, don't they?
Yeah.
Like a hat in every picture, that's a bit excessive.
Yeah, this was the, I'll just say it was the musician guy.
Oh, was he not fit in real life?
No, he was... And that's a really mean thing to say. I'm not a shallow person, but, you know, he didn't have the personality or the look, so
So you didn't vibe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just wasn't doing it for me.
well, we move on.
Yeah.
Away.
And we move on to the next... the next query.
Query!
Sorry, I'm in work.
Hello, 0800 1111 6969. What is your query?
Oh, this one's cute. I want to change up my makeup routine. Could you recommend... Can I speak? Could you recommend your ride or die makeup products? I change mine like every 2 flipping
No,
weeks.
sorry.
So.
Can't be arsed. Let's move on. No, I'm joking. Absolute ride or die. Yeah, you're quite fickle with your like routine, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a... I find something that I love and like stick to it. Obviously you need SPF. Like I wear SPF 50 every single day. Just because I feel like we've had it drilled into us so much now, you know, in like mainstream media that we need it. So my skin's quite sensitive, so don't want any sunburn, please and thank you.
The one thing that I really like is the Revolution brow pomade. It's like a dupe of the Anastasia Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And that's really good.
I've used that before, but I go like more, because I have really, really dense brow hairs. I don't use that anymore because it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, see,
on
I
me.
have like zero brow.
Exactly, so it's literally so good for, you know, if you've got sparse brows.
And sometimes, like, I'll use that if I've got time. I've got this, like, NYX, it's like a felt tip liner pen for your eyebrows.
Yeah, to
and
like
I'll
draw the hairs.
Yeah, and it looks, like, really good if you do both of them together.
Yeah.
And my favourite mascara ever is the Estee Lauder, the one in the gold.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it's
You
called.
worked there.
I know.
It's
I've
like double
erased
wear. I
it
think
from...
it's like double. It's all called.
I think it is double
isn't
wear.
it?
Yeah. I think I have 2 favourite foundations. So The Ordinary is so good. Like the coverage foundation is amazing, but I just can't find a foundation I vibe with more than MAC Studio Fix. It just like works for my skin. It gives a glow, but it's mattifying, which is literally my ideal situation.
My problem is I've never found like a foundation that really does my skin well. Like they're either too like cakey, they're too drying, or they're too oily and not enough coverage. I just can't find a good medium. I used to wear it was like the Revlon one, I can't remember what it's called, but they changed the formula and it used to be so good, but since they changed the formula, like it just doesn't suit my skin. My skin's so like fickle, isn't it, anyway? So
see, I used to when I used to work at Estee Lauder, I used to wear double wear all the time.
I'll wear that on a night out.
But I don't like it anymore. I find it's too much for me now. It's too full coverage.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'd only wear it if I was like proper, like glammed up.
Yeah, so I have a rule now. I have a little beauty spot on my top right of my cheek, and if I can't see that, my coverage is too much.
Oh, that's a
so
good idea.
I will literally buff foundation out so much on my face. So I'll put it on with like a dense bristle brush and like put it on thickly if I'm going, like on a night out, or just, quickly and thinly if I'm not. And then I'll buff it with the same brush. And then with like a kabuki brush, won't put anything on the brush, but I'll just buff it out until it's like glowy but matte where I want it to be.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'll conceal and powder like over it. But yeah, that definitely works for me. But I think Studio Fix is definitely one I'd recommend.
I'll have to try.
I'm trying to think of other products. I love Dallas bronzer from Benefit. I also use Cookie highlight from Benefit. What else do I use? If you're talking ride or die Tarte concealer, I cannot like.
Oh, the Shape Tape.
Yeah, if I had to use only one product forever, it would be that. Like, it's just so good. I've never used a concealer that creases less, like not at all, that is just the perfect shade. Like, normally they're too dark or too, like, way too light, and it's just like, this is amazing. I use Lottie mascara. What's it called? Can't remember. Anyway, it's in a wide tube. Super Fake. Mm-hmm. It's like $6.99, and it's genuinely one of the best mascaras I've ever used, because I used to be a Too Faced Better Than Sex or Roller Lash gal.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why, but in the pandemic, like, they started to do me dirty and like start hitting my eyes.
Too Faced one, I can't remember what it was called, but it was in like a pink, like metallic.
Yeah, Better Than Sex.
It wasn't no.
Bad. Oh my god. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm gonna Google it.
It's like a strange triangular shape or something. I've used that. It was horrible.
It was horrible.
It's too thick.
Yeah, the brush was always like caked.
Yeah.
So I just revert back to my Estee Lauder, and like during the daytime I've got like a Clinique one on now that's just like a brown black.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for going out.
Yeah.
What else do I really use? Oh, I feel like you need to try lipstick as a blusher.
Yeah, you do that, don't you?
I do that every day, and you can have like all different colours of blush. So I just like draw like a little line like above my cheekbone,
and
like
just,
under my highlight but above my contour, and I use my damp, like beauty blender.
Yeah. That is a good idea, to be honest. I think as well, if you have a matte lipstick, like Velvet Teddy is still my absolute like go-to. It just like suits my colouring so much. If you're going to use a matte lipstick, put a balm over the top. So I love Huda Silk Balm over the top of lipstick, because it just gives it a glossy look but no stick.
Yeah.
So if you're not a lip gloss kind of gal because you hate it because it gets stuck in your hair, which happens to me all the time if I go out and there's like a gust of wind.
See,
my hair's stuck
I'm a
to my
gloss
face.
girl. I can't do a matte lip. Oh, by the way, that mascara from Too Faced is called Damn Girl.
Oh yeah, I
Avoid
don't rate
it.
that.
Avoid it.
Yeah, it's a bit much. I did use that and it wouldn't come off. Like it
goes
struggled.
all like flaky as well, and like little bits fall in your eye.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
No, but that started to happen to me with the Better Than Sex. I mean, I might try it again in the future, because I did used to love how like thick and you know luscious my lashes used to look. But with this Lottie mascara, because I have quite long lashes anyway, it just lengthens them without making them look thick and like messy.
I actually used to really like the L'Oreal mascaras, and they were only like £6-7 or something.
Yeah, I've never used L'Oreal, to be honest, before. I'm trying to think of any other products.
And the one thing, did I already say this? An eyeliner that's like a jumbo felt tip pen.
Oh, no.
So much easier to control than, you know, like the really thin felt tips. Because people are always like, oh yeah, try the felt tip, it's easier than liquid. But I find you mess up.
Yeah.
So easy. But I got one of those jumbo pens and it just helps. Like, it's not always like the best like pigment on it, but if you can like get the shape, then you can go back in with the thinner one.
Yeah.
So if you want to do like a good like wing, definitely try a jumbo, because I'm so bad at winged eyeliner.
See, I'm quite like precise with my eyeliner, so like when I do it, I'm not here to play. So, but again, it was through the pandemic where I think it was when I stopped really wearing makeup, because obviously I went from working in Estee Lauder and being literally like flawless makeup every single day to nothing. When I came back to wanting to wear makeup and sort of reintroduce things, I was like, I don't know where, where to start. So the eyeliner that I was using was the NYX Vinyl, and it started to do me so dirty. Like, I went out with Joe's family and I felt my eyelids like sticking. Hooded eye girls will relate.
See, I can't do like pencil, like whole eyeliner, because of my hood. It'll always like transfer.
So I literally Googled, this is only a couple of weeks ago now, best eyeliner, non-transfer eyeliner for hooded eyes, and a Maybelline one for £4 came up, and I ordered it immediately from Amazon. Oh my god, so good. At first I was a bit like shaky with it, and I was like, oh, this is really hard. But now, it's a really thin tip pen. It's so good, like, and no transfer, like nothing. I'm in love, because I really like my eyes with eyeliner.
Same. I think my eyes look so good with
eyeliner.
Like, I
they
used
make them
to
look
wear
bigger and
winged
everything.
eyeliner every day.
Yeah.
And I would always end up being like late for not late for work, but like running late in the morning, because I'd mess it up and then I'd have to go like fix it on both sides. So for like probably about a year, I like boycotted eyeliner. But I remember like the first day that I didn't wear eyeliner to work, this guy was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "You look ill."
Oh my god. So it became like your normal thing. Yeah, I think when you do stuff like that, it almost becomes like a part of sort of, obviously not your identity, but like who you are and like what you look like.
When a girl wears winged eyeliner every day, like that is
their thing.
Yeah. And
and it does look so good. Like, it just elevates eyes so much. But I'm just trying to think of other products. I'm a big fan of this is more skincare because I do put it on at night, but the Too Faced hangover lip balm, love that. It genuinely is so nice.
You know, I love a Dr. Pawpaw, which you're not a fan of, but Aldi, the dupes of Dr. Pawpaw, they're so good. I prefer them to actual Dr. Pawpaw.
Do you?
Yeah, because they're not as like thick.
That's why I didn't like the actual one. Like, I don't like thick balm.
Yeah. The best one actually that I ever bought was the glossierbalm.com.
See, I almost bought that quite a few times because you kept recommending it, but then I read so many bad reviews saying that it wasn't good.
Oh, I loved it. It was just like £10 for a little tube, and I just...
Yeah, I didn't mind the price so much. It was just like people were saying that they, like, it smelt really bad.
Well, I think it depends what flavour you... Well, not flavour. You're not eating it. Then I always get the rose one in it because I really like... rose scented
and the
things.
little tint as well.
Yeah, but it's like pink. The tint's like barely there, to be honest. Yeah. Oh my god, we've got one more.
Is it my go?
It is.
Oh my god.
Ooh, finish us off. See what we got.
Okay, this is from Anon. I'm really over my job, but I can't be arsed looking for a new one. What should I do?
Oh, well, you're just being lazy.
You're just going to have to be arsed to get a new one.
Either try and motivate yourself in your job to do something you enjoy, or look for some like career progression or something within your current job.
Like training, or is that another role that you have your eye on? Like, I don't know how your team works, you know. Is there someone directly above you that is leaving at some point. Like, is there any way, you know, that you could step into their role if you spoke to the right people? I think motivation for so many people at the minute is at an all-time low. Like, I keep seeing so many creatives like, oh, I don't really want to do anything. I can't be bothered. You know, I don't feel like anything I do is serving me well. You know, I just feel a bit like stuck in a rut. And I feel like so many people feel like that at the moment.
Yeah.
I think you're just going to have to, like you said, motivate yourself to want to do more in your job, to want to be better at your job. Either that or start looking somewhere else.
Not to be Kim Kardashian, but, you know, get off your ass.
We all have the same 24
Oh, that was Molly May, wasn't it?
Molly May Kardashian. Kim May.
Kim May.
Oh,
but
gosh.
yeah, I think if you really dislike your job, it's going to make you unhappy. We know that from previous jobs and friends in jobs that have been like super unhappy. I know someone the other day that just quit their job without having a backup just because it was like really affecting them. So
that's mad.
Yeah.
Do they live not with their parents?
No.
So they live
like on their own.
On their own.
Yeah.
That's
it's risky.
tough.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I would never have done that. Like, I was in the same
You always
company. I was at the same
big
beeping that out.
Yeah, beep it. That'd be funny.
But yeah. So we were all in the same boat. Yeah. And I wanted to quit, but I was like, you know what, I need another job before I do because I can't afford to pay my rent if I quit.
You always need a backup plan.
Yeah.
I think no matter what the situation, you know, we get told constantly that if you're in a relationship, you need money for a fuck off fund. You know, if you need to leave urgently for whatever reason, or if you've just had a fucking enough of their bullshit, you need to like have enough money to go.
Yeah.
You need to have enough money to pay your rent for like 6 months if you're gonna leave a job in that sort of a situation. You can't be hasty. You need a backup plan.
Yeah.
In my opinion anyway.
I think if you do, like, if you're in a position where you still live with family and you're not paying rent maybe, or like you've got like low rent,
it's different. You've got a little cushion, haven't you? But if you don't have anything, that's hard. But you know,
it couldn't be me. I couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't either. Especially because it's not a shock to them how shit the company is.
Yeah.
It's not like it was a revelation one day and it was like, oh, well, I'm going to have to leave because that happened. It had been going on for so long. So I just think you should always have contingency plans in place and always always know what the job market's made up of.
Yeah.
Because there might be something whilst you're working your job.
I'm always getting like alerts and stuff, and I never turn them off because, you know, even from like, what's it called?
Indeed.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I do think you should.
You know, and I'm not looking.
No,
but it's good to know the climate.
Exactly. I remember in the pandemic thinking like, good grief, if I lost my job now, I'd be screwed because there's no journalism jobs in sight and I'd have to do something that I didn't necessarily want to. But now, obviously, the job market is a lot more, there's a lot of jobs going, basically.
Yeah, like right now, there's too many jobs and not enough people.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people that don't have enough experience necessarily that, you know, there are jobs that need to be filled.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's always something to do, and I do think like applying for jobs and stuff like that can be quite fun. Yeah. It's almost like, I almost treat it as like, I know it's really bad, but like a game. Like, I think that you should motivate yourself more, try to love your job. If you can't, get yourself on Indeed. And, you know, they say that looking for another job is a full-time job in itself. Yes, I agree, it's very tough and you're going to have to dedicate a lot of time to it. But if you genuinely want another job that much, you're going to find the time to do it. After work, have your tea, dedicate a couple of hours whilst you're watching, you know, trash TV or whatever to get your CV up to date, you know, make sure everything's like looking good. You look the best candidate out there and just go for it. just live your life.
Yeah.
Whatever's meant to happen.
And something will
happen.
come up eventually. It always
Exactly.
does.
It will. And to the person that left the company on a whim,
Fingers crossed.
hope you get a job soon.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of transferable skills. So that's all it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being able to sort of speak your way through an interview, letting them know what you've done in the past and how you can then move that forward in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, wow, that's it.
Woo!
Agony and episode number 1 over and out.
Oh my god.
This
I need
has
to
been
go to bed now.
the most chaotic episode to record
Yeah, actually
ever. We've been recording for about an hour and a half. I don't know how long this episode is going to end up being because
there's so many like interruptions, stuff like that.
mainly me needing to clear my throat every 2 seconds.
Or other people in my building.
Or
shouting.
ambulances.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we've had fun doing this episode, giving you, it's not unsolicited advice because you asked for it, but
yeah.
you know, is it good advice? We don't know. You'll have to tell us. But yeah, we had lots of fun doing this episode, and hopefully we'll be able to do something similar in the future.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone that sent in their, as I like to call them, queries.
Your queries. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us on this 10th week anniversary episode.
We'll be putting out a little mini surprise bonus episode later today as well. So
yeah, for those of you on
out.
Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Spotify exclusive, unfortunately.
Yeah, so if you don't have Spotify,
but fortunately as well,
you're gonna have to pay $9.99 for 1 month just to listen to it.
Yeah.
Joke, just use your mums or dads or friends or something just to listen. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. As always, you can find us on Twitter, Insta and TikTok. You should know our handles by now. If not, then go back to another episode and fast forward to the end and listen. But yeah, thank you so much. This has been fun, and we'll see you soon for more episodes.
Bye.
Bye.